Hey guys, for this video I'm going to be doing my new favorites as well as a little bit of a touch on the last favorites video that I did. Are they still my favorites? Are they not? I have a few new products, not a lot, because if you watch my tutorials you know that I don't really stray from a lot of the basics I have. I don't really try a lot of new things. I am on a low buy / no buy, so I'm basically just working through the makeup I already have. I do have a lot of lip products because I don't think I watched the video and I don't recall having any lip product favorites in the last current favorite video, so I've included them all in this one. There's some new favorites, some things that I've been using for a while now, but basically over the past since I did that last video, I think that was what, 5 months ago? Don't remember exactly, but I've been what was I going with that thought? I've been using a lot of the same things consistently because they work for me and I'm not trying new things. So the first thing I will do is complexion products, so foundations and powders. So in that video I had two powders that I was using and I was rotating between the two of them. Well, for the winter months I came to realize that the Fenty powder was a little bit too dry for my skin, so I've been sticking exclusively with the Too Faced Born This Way powder. I really do like it. This is a mini size and I am maybe halfway through, maybe a little more, but I use like the tiniest amount just on my forehead, my nose, and my chin. And I use another powder for my pores, and I don't powder the rest of my face because this winter my skin has been exceptionally dry, so I'm kind of happy because I get to explore more luminous products, but at the same time I do have larger pores, oily skin still, so it's a fine balance finding what works for my skin. So current favorite that I've been using is the Too Faced Born This Way. I will try using the Fenty powder again in the summertime once my skin is more oily, but who knows, that could change. For foundations, I was consistently rotating through the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, the Kevyn Aucoin, the Etherealist foundation, and the Born This Way foundation. Basically all winter. Oh, I did mention that I was going to get the full size of the Dior Backstage in 2W. I did. I've been using 1W because it's closer to my winter paleness. I will be using the 2W in the summertime. I had to give this a break over the course of the winter because it was too dry for my skin, so I've been sticking with more luminous foundations, which basically was the Too Faced Born This Way, and even then on like a really bad day I would have to layer that with different skin oils and different skin serums. This became too dark for my face if I wasn't self-tanned everywhere else. The Kevyn Aucoin one, Aucoin, I don't really know how to say that. And then the Giorgio Armani, I did really like this, but again, in my last video I mentioned that I couldn't use it every single day because I would break out around my chin. That's still the case, so I only use that on certain days that I felt like using it. But a new favorite for foundation is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is the older one. I haven't tried the newer one yet because it's not available in Canada yet as far as I know. I'm going to keep an eye out for it because I really do want to try it. However, this has been, I did pull this out last week, the week before that, when I saw a lot of videos on the fact that Wet n Wild did have a new foundation, so I was like, let's break out mine and see how I liked it. I have been loving this. It gives the most natural finish. The color of it is perfectly matches my skin, whether I'm self-tanned or not. I don't know how it does it, but it just does. I've been loving it, and even without a primer underneath, as I've been doing on my off days when I've just been staying home all day, which is a lot quite recently, it's been great and I haven't needed a primer underneath. I mean, I would still put a primer underneath if I was going like to work or something, but Photo Focus, Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, the original version, not the newest version. I guess that's the luminous one, I'm not really too sure. New favorite. I'm going to jump back to face powders because I kind of forgot about that. So for the powders that I'm using on my inner corner here, I don't know why I call it the inner corner, but it's the part next to my nose and in between my eyebrows. I was switching between the I have a bit in the cap, so I'm not going to go ahead and tilt it, but it's the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. The original Mineral Veil. I don't want to tilt it too much, but it's that one there. I did mention in that video that I was not sure which one I like better between that one or the Stellar Haze powder. I have come to a conclusion that although I do love the Bare Minerals powder, I do use it still. I think the Stellar one just gives me a little bit more flawless, less drying look. I do like the Bare Minerals one. However, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the Stellar just gives it a little more smooth, a little more hydrated look. I'm not sure, but I do prefer the Stellar over, so that continues to, this kind of got pushed to the top of my powders for my favorites. Of course, next to my Too Faced. And then for blurring pores and just giving more life back to my skin, I don't want to blind you, but the Hourglass palette that I've been using, I've actually hit pan on that one there because I use it every single day to help blend my powder in here and then my blush and my highlight, whatever. I blend the two there with a damp beauty, it's not a beauty blender, it's just a sponge. I blend in between those two areas with that powder, and during the last, was it the last one? One of the last VIB sales, I did buy a backup of that powder because I felt like it was going to become a staple, and it has. I haven't had to dip into my backup yet, but I will need to in the very near future because it is getting low. I'm so proud of that pan, so proud of it. Anyways, oh, and I also use this too on days where I just want more of a natural finish. I use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer on my eyelids, and I set it with that powder, and it gives me not so much of a powder look, but more like a natural, just, you don't have any, what am I trying to say? Not creases, not texture. Veins makes my eyelids smooth when I don't really want to wear makeup, but I want to look more pulled together and polished. Okay. I'm just glancing down at my paper here, my little notes that I wrote down for this video, because I always forget and I don't want to go off track. Oh, I forgot to time myself again. Always happens. Anyways, okay, so went over powders, foundations. Okay, so for highlights, I mentioned in that video that I was a fan of loose highlight. That is still very much the case. I set all my highlights, I start off with the base of my Hourglass stick foundation. My Hourglass highlighting stick, or my Natasha Denona. I need to get a new one because I've also hit pan on this one, and I need to look for a new one of those. She did come out with new ones, so I might purchase one of those during the new VIB sale, whenever that's going to be, hopefully next month sometime. But I start off with that base, and then I go in with whatever highlighter I want. I'm still a fan of the Wet n Wilds, I have a couple MAC ones here. CoverGirl is still a love of mine. Same with my Hourglass. This one here, Ambient. It's called Absolute Strobe Light, Pure Strobe Light, and Lucient Strobe Light. I do really enjoy mixing the gold and the pink. Those are my two favorites from that palette. Other than that, I mean, I literally rotate through all of them, depending on if I'm looking for gold, if I'm looking for pink, if I'm looking for more of like Benefits Cookie is also in my favorites too for highlights, but I don't really have like one standout highlight that I keep reaching for over another. I rotate through pretty much all of them every single day, except for the ones that are in my Shop My Stash basket, the Wet n Wild ones. I try to prioritize those over the other things just because I want to give them more love. I do have the Wet n Wild highlight one on today. That was in my last tutorial, or the one going to be going up after this, I'm not too sure yet, but that's this one here. That's the highlight I have on my face right now. Other than that, I don't really have any one single standout one that has like flown to the top of my list. Okay, so for a few new things, for a few new favorites, although I didn't include lip products in my last video, let me just take a sip. Sorry, I'm drinking some sparkling wine. It's Sunday fun day today. Okay, what was I saying? New favorites. So I'm trying to try this new thing where I don't use eyeliner on my upper lash line. I watched this video that Merlane Estelle from Makeup Geek did for hooded eyes. I have hooded eyes. Some days they're more pronounced than others, depending on just the day before what my diet intake was, how much sleep I got, blah 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 blah, if I'm retaining water, if I'm puffy. So I'm trying this new thing where I'm not using anything harsh on the upper lash line area as far as eyeliner goes. But on days where I do want some eyeliner, I'm just finding I'm not loving the look of black lately, so I've been reaching for my brown. Now this one from KVD Beauty, I know that's the newest name for it. However, this one's still the Kat Von D one. I'm going to buy a new one under the new brand name. Hopefully it's the same and she didn't change the product, because this is my second one of this. This is my older one. It's pretty much dried out. I'm only keeping it to like, I don't want to throw it out yet because it still has a little bit of life left in it, but this one here for wings and stuff like that it's pretty juicy, so I'm able to get a really nice wing with my hooded eyes when I do want it. But the Tattoo Liner in Matte Tattoo Liner, it's waterproof liquid liner in the shade Mad Max Brown. I love this eyeliner. I have not yet found a drugstore alternative, which I want to do because I don't want to keep buying. These things are like $23 a pop. And that's a little out of my price range for things I want to spend right now on makeup. I'm going to buy it when the next VIB sale comes, but I do still want to keep my eyes out for a drugstore alternative. If you know of a drugstore alternative to that, and it's a nice fine brush and it's a nice deep color, let me know because I'm on the search. What's next? Okay, so I guess move on to the lip products. So I did this makeup tutorial. I don't know if it's going to go up before this video or after this video, but the lip I used in that video has changed. I wanted to switch it up because I wasn't feeling the gloss. I wanted something different. So what I ended up doing is putting on this L'Oreal. This is no longer available. This is also an older one that I'm trying to get some love out of. It's a L'Oreal Nude. It's their color designed, it's called Pale Lip. Fitting name for a nude. And then one of my favorites that have come into my collection recently is this Lawless Beauty lipstick, and this is the shade Annie, and I put this over top of it. It's a gorgeous peachy pink color, and her nudes from her latest collection, I love the three palest colors from there. I'm like a pale nude, like not like a deeper tone nude, but like a pale nude, like Math Myth and Flesh Pot, like that kind of pale nude. That is Annie right there. And I do have two others. I have Child. All these have made their way into my favorites because just the formula is super smooth. They look really soft on the lips. They don't accentuate fine lines. That's Child right there. And then I have Platinum. The last one here. This is like a really nice go-to. It's a neutral, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. That one's Platinum, so Annie, Child, and Platinum. I was having such a hard time when I was ordering them, finding some awesome swatches online. There wasn't a lot available, and the ones on Sephora's and Lala's website, they just don't really give a good representation of what the color looks like. So next is all lip glosses, and these are all lip glosses that either stay in my go-to makeup bag or they live in my purse. For different reasons. I will get into them in just 1 second because my throat's getting dry and I need another sip. Okay, let's start with Fenty. Sweet Mouth and Diamond Milk. Favorites, favorites, favorites. I want to get the glass slipper so bad. I was going to buy it the day before Sephora closed, but I didn't because I'm trying to wait for the VIB sale. But part of me wishes I got it because I could really use a clear lip gloss these days. I'm just not feeling a lot of color on my lips lately. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that clear lip gloss would have been handy. Anyways, Sweet Mouth is my favorite. Diamond Balm. These two live in my purse for... This is just nice to throw on if you want something a little extra but doesn't give your lips some color. And this one's nice if you have... Because my lips are naturally super pale, so adding any little bit of color in it is what I like. So this is nice to give a little bit of color. The next three nude glosses that I haven't touched any other nude gloss. I mean, I have a couple of them. Do I have any more? I don't think I do. I think these are the three nude glosses that I have that I absolutely love. The first one is Marc Jacobs Sugar Sugar. This gloss is so pretty. I might want to try is it the Moonlight one? Moonlight? I don't remember, but there's another one. It might be a little bit paler than this. I don't know. Maybe for summer that wouldn't be such a good thing when I get a little bit of a tan. But that is Marc Jacobs Sugar Sugar. I absolutely love it. Max See-Through is another one. This one smells so delicious. It just makes me happy whenever I put it on. depending on which nude I'm wearing, which nude lipstick I'm wearing underneath is what depends on which one of these I put on. This one is a little bit more of a yellow base nude, whereas the Marc Jacobs is a little more of a, has a bit more of a pink tone to it, so that's see-through, and that's the Marc Jacobs Sugar Sugar. And of course the other one, I have a full size of this in my purse, the Buxom White Russian, but it is like, I think I have like maybe a handful of uses left. It's dried out, not dried out, it's used up, and I'm like scraping the inside of the container for it. So I have this little sample size that I'm trying to tide me over for the next VIB sale when I can purchase it. I'm not going to swatch it because I don't want to waste it, but Buxom White Russian, still loved, my favorite. The only thing about those ones is they kind of tend to fall into the creases of my lips, so I keep having to do that when I'm wearing it, but small price to pay for the beautiful color that it is. Alright, the last 3 lip products that I have are also glosses, and this one is from Pat McGrath. It's the Pale Fire Nectar. It's got this gorgeous pink shimmer to it, and I love this for days where I just want something, I want a clear gloss, but I just want something just a little bit extra to it. I'll swatch a little bit of that. I don't have much left, but I do think I want to buy the full size of that because it is so pretty and it smells so good. That is the Pat McGrath there. And the last 2 here I have are the 2 Orgasm lip products from NARS. I both love them for different reasons. So this is the balm. If I'm out on an early morning when I haven't really done my makeup and my lips just need something because otherwise I look dead without anything because they're so pale, I put this one on if I don't want like to look really made up. I just want like some little bit of color. So it's the balm from the Orgasm collection from NARS. It doesn't have much color to it, but it just gives my lips like the most natural shade of pink. That's it there. And then when I want something a little bit extra, I have the lip oil, which is also very nice. I do prefer my lip glosses to have a bit more of a stick to it. This one doesn't, but I like the color and like what it does to my lips. It kind of gives just a little bit of a pink sheen again. There's the lip oil from NARS. So these ones live in my purse, the rest live in my makeup bag, and I'm hoping to add a few more to my collection soon. The Fenty glass slipper, I think that's it. Other than that, I think that does it for this video. I couldn't think of anything else I could pull in that you guys haven't already seen in the last video that I'm still using. Again, I don't have very many of these favorite videos because I don't rotate through a lot of products. I don't try a lot of products because I'm trying to watch my budget. So I'm not buying a lot of things. However, I thank you guys very much for watching this video, and you will see me in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Bye!